I'm not going to tell that we kissed, held hands, and had sex, but I'm going to say, yeah, I did see my ex the other day. I'm sorry. Like, that's not going to happen again. Narcissists are liars. That should be pretty obvious for a lot of people on this platform, but some people might be like, wait a second, like, are they? Like, I don't know if they're telling the truth or if they're not telling the truth. Well, narcissists are very good at lying. Now, pause for a second, because that is not an all-inclusive statement, okay? There's some narcissists that are, like, absolutely awful about lying. Like, literally, we're talking about the narcissist who drove the truck into the fence and then blamed it on the cows and blamed it on the turkeys. Like, literally, we can get to some crazy examples of narcissists trying to lie and it just absolutely flopping. Of, like, my 2-year-old can come up with a better lie than what you just came up with. But narcissists, a lot of times, do develop really good bad, but like they get really good at lying. They get really good at manipulating conversations. They get really good at telling partial truths. And getting to that place of lying constantly is instinctual. Like, as they build up their habits, as they build up their behaviors that they developed from early childhood, where they figured, hey, if I lie about this, then I don't have to actually have real vulnerability. I don't actually have to bring my whole self to the conversation. If I lie about it, I can create a false persona, and as a result, the people that believe me, the people that see me, only see what I want them to see. And as a result, they start going through life with a false persona, with a fake profile, with a person that is living in a fantasy world of who they are and what they think they are. And as a result, people can't really understand who they are. They get sucked into everything that they do. They get sucked into different things that they happen to handle with, that they do, that they go on dates, that they interact with, that they build connections, like whatever it might be. And they start to get sucked in. And in talking with people and in talking about narcissists and like lying, a lot of times you have like regular lying. You just have straight up, did you do this? No, I didn't do this. Like straight up lying. You have gaslighting, which is almost taking lying to another step. So it's not just lying about the subject, but it's trying to prove to you that that never existed. So a great example, there was somebody who they left a condom in the trash can, and the wife came and saw the condom and was like, what is this doing here? She stepped away for a minute. The guy took the condom out of the trash can and then came back and said, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that doesn't even exist. That's not even here. Made her dig through the whole trash. She couldn't find the condom. That way she started not believing her reality of what she saw, because he was trying to change that. He was trying to change her reality with what actually happened. There's countless examples of people that have done this, that have taken something, that have done something, that have acted, that have said anything like that. They have done one thing and then later turned around and said, no, that never happened. And what that does is that messes with the other person's mind and confuses them and puts them in a place where they're trying to figure out what is truth, what is reality, all this kind of stuff. And it gets very confusing. And it gets very frustrating because they're going back and forth trying to figure out what's actually real. Now, in talking with a lot of people, with one-on-ones and dealing with people who have been with a narcissist and they're in like a narcissistic abusive relationship, or maybe they just came out of a narcissistic abusive relationship, one of the things that I find is really common is narcissists trying to justify lying. They'll justify lying by saying multiple different things, but one of the things they'll say is oh, well, I was doing it not to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt you, so that's why I didn't tell you. Let me tell you right now, that is 100% false. Even if they say that, that is 100% false. The narcissist doesn't lie to not hurt you, because in reality, they don't care about you. In reality, they don't care the fact that they lied to you, because they did it the first time, they did it the second time, they did it the 100th time. They don't really care. They don't care about the fact that they lied to you, so they can keep doing it over and over and over again. But in that moment, when they start getting caught, they want to justify it in their mind, and they want to justify it to you. So as a result, they'll say, oh, I did that because I didn't want you to be hurt. Okay, well, they don't think about the end result. They don't think about the idea of like, well, what was going to happen when I was going to find out eventually? Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't want you to be hurt, so that's why I didn't tell you. I just knew that would affect you. I knew that would be frustrating to you, so I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you. 100% lies. The narcissist lies to protect themselves. The narcissist lies to avoid vulnerability, to avoid accountability, to avoid being honest, because being honest will show them right away that they're not right, that they do things that are wrong, that they haven't interacted correctly, that they haven't respected, that they haven't loved, that they haven't valued. And right away they'll see that shame, and they'll see that guilt, and they cannot deal with that. So that has to get hidden and pushed to the side as fast as possible. So as a result, we'll explain it away, we'll change how we describe it, but we'll say, hey, this is what happened, I did it for you. And the problem is when you start to justify it in your mind of someone lying on purpose for you, it starts making that dissonance once again where you're like, wait a second, like this person actually loves me because they lied to me. People will get to that point. So if you deal with that, please be careful, because it's very manipulative. It's very easy for a narcissist to do that time and time and time again. And then you get to the place of like, oh, like this is actually true. Like this is actually the reality that I'm supposed to be living in. And it's not. Another thing that narcissists will often say is, oh, well, I didn't tell you all that. I didn't communicate all that. And it'll end up being like the lie of omission. That's like the popular kind of like thought of like, it wasn't lying, I didn't tell you, or it wasn't lying, I forgot, or it wasn't lying, I told you about this, but I didn't tell you about that. I wasn't lying, I just didn't tell you. That is still a lie of omission. You see, a narcissist wants to be in control of the information. So as a result, they're going to breadcrumb. They're going to leave a trail. They're going to leave little spots, little pieces for you to pick up. And those pieces, in the terms of lying, those pieces are only going to be what they allow you to hear, what they allow you to see, what they allow you to feel, because they have to be in control. So a lie of omission is literally them just playing damage control. Of like, oh, I'm getting caught, so I'm going to go ahead and own up that I did see my ex the other day. Now, I'm not going to tell that we kissed, held hands, and had sex, but I'm going to say, yeah, I did see my ex the other day. I'm sorry, like that's not going to happen again. Or I did see my ex the other day. Okay, so what? Like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like we just talked and, that was it. The lie of omission, they'll do this a lot because they want to justify in their minds, I didn't directly lie. Like I didn't say, no, this didn't happen. I just didn't say that it happened. That is still lying. And people need to understand that, and people need to know and believe that, because otherwise you'll go through life and you'll get guilted into the idea that the narcissist is being truthful to you when they're not. Well, an easy thing for them to say is like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. They don't forget. And they don't forget as much as what they say. That's 100% sure. Okay, so be careful when dealing with a narcissist and with them lying, because you'll have them just lie straight up. You'll have them gaslight. You'll have them use the lie of omission. You'll have them lie because they're doing it for your benefit or for your help. But in reality, it's only for them. It's only to protect their image, how they're coming across, how they're being perceived. So please be careful if you're dealing with a narcissist who is lying and who's going through this, because they will find any and every way to continue that cycle and to continue lying to you on a daily basis. If this is something you're dealing with and you'd like to talk more, would love to talk to you, just please reach out. Go to my website, Raw Motivations, click on one-on-ones, and you can grab a time there for us to be able to talk. I talk to people on a day-to-day basis who are dealing with narcissists, who are dealing with the lies and really like the fog that gets put on their heads of everything that's going on, of all the dissonance of screaming and then I love you, of lying and then coming back and manipulating the situation, of gaslighting them, of changing stuff around, of confusing everybody so that there's just a giant fog on the person's head. The fog of lies from a narcissist is so hard to be able to see through and dig through, and oftentimes it's so focused on feelings that a person can't figure out what the truth is in the situation. So as part of what I do, I try to cut through the fog. I try to work with people to be able to get through that, to be able to say, hey, this is what's happening. Like, let's walk through it and let's figure out how we can change our mindset, how we can change our perspective to make sure that we're focused on that healing and growth, regardless of the fog that they try to put us through, regardless of the lies that they put on us. So let's work on that. If you're interested in joining a community that is about that is about other survivors breaking free, then join the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery community, and that's the NARC app. That's an app you can get on the website. You can get it from Apple, you can get it from Google Play, and that's an app for people to be able to join together as a community to encourage one another, to be able to take courses on narcissism, on gaslighting, on manipulation, all this type of stuff, and stuff that's still coming out the pipe, but just more things to be able to educate you about that, but then connect you with a community of like-minded people who are either struggling through the same thing or have been free from it for a little bit of time and can encourage you one-on-one with all that. Would love to talk to you more. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and then also just find me on some other social media. We've got the smaller shorts. We've got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. See you later.